You should be talking to your colleagues about the cybersecurity breach at ISS World. Not just because they're one of the world's largest employers in 65 countries, but because their 500,000 staff are working at banks, insurers, and other large enterprises that should know which of their suppliers has visibly weak cyber defences. Look at this data on ISS. Their cybersecurity posture in the days before their breach in February 2020 was weak in several areas: network security, domain name server health, patching, and application security, to name just a few. And if I show that data comparing ISS World with its main competitors around the world, such as Aramac in the States or Sodexo from France, CBRE, JCI, Compass Group, all of them have a significantly better cybersecurity posture, not just in February 2020, but over the preceding 12 months. For almost the entire year, ISS World has had a weaker cybersecurity posture than its peers. Rather similar to another supplier to banks. There are over a dozen banks just in the UK, for example, that have Travelex as a supplier of travel money, physical foreign currency that they supply by connecting their IT systems to Travelex. And yet, just like ISS, Travelex had a very significantly poor cybersecurity posture in the 12 months before the breach that you will have heard of. ISS, of course, does not provide travel money, but it is connected to the buildings of many large enterprises like banks and insurers, which will remind some of us of the infamous breach that happened in America to the second largest retailer in the United States. Target was hacked via their air conditioning supplier. There's no reason to think that this breach of ISS will lead to such devastating impacts, but it does reinforce that the regulators are right when they encourage us to be monitoring the cybersecurity, the information processing security of key suppliers. The Europeans have been insisting on this for some time through GDPR. Article 32, in fact, starts with a remarkable phrase: taking into account the state of the art. Controllers of information, like you and your organisation, must have a process for regularly assessing the technical and organisational measures for security of information processing at your suppliers. It's not just in Europe. Worldwide, the G7 has been calling on entities like your firm to review third parties to manage cyber risk on an ongoing basis, particularly those providing critical services. And similarly, back here in the UK, the National Cybersecurity Centre expects boards to ask questions and challenge about expectations for supplier security. The Bank of England, specifically the Prudential Regulatory Authority, as you would expect, is taking a great lead in this area. The draft supervisory statement they published on the 5th of December within a consultation paper calls on banks to have online real-time reporting tools as they manage third-party and outsourcing risk. So think about whether you're in the first, second, or third line of defense in your organization. Do you know the cybersecurity posture of your key suppliers? You can look back at all the regulations that have come out in just the last 2 years encouraging you to do so, or you can look forward to future breaches with confidence knowing that you have the online real-time reporting tools to compare the cybersecurity posture of your suppliers with their peers. I look forward to talking to you about that.